Hello. Welcome to episode 38 of Authentic Hustle. 38 weeks straight of the hustle, guys. Love it. Love it. Love doing this with you. I'm here with my co-host today, Vijayan Swaminathan and Colin Harms, the kings of the Authentic Hustle.
The kings. We have to go lightly with those words lately.
Emperor Kelly.
It's Emperor Palpatine. Oh goodness, my gosh, I love doing this show with you guys. And every week it's something different. We like to tackle different things. We like to take things on authentically. All three of us are business owners. All three of us are grinding it out through the Authentic Hustle week over week, and we just want to bring the reality of business to each and every one of you in the funnest, lightest hearted way that we absolutely can. And I get to do that week over week. Last week, we had an absolutely incredible show. We had to miss Vijay. He was off doing things, but me and Colin managed to get one out, and it was honestly a great show. And I think we have another big one here today. But before we do, are there any updates from either of you?
Well, I just hope we have another 20,000 followers like we did last week.
Yeah. Just one episode. Kelly, first of all, like, huge congratulations. I know I wished you and all, but huge congratulations, man, on the Signal Awards and winning it there. It's an amazing achievement. I'm super proud. I told everyone. I told my wife. I told my son. So everyone who knows you, actually, I told them. Wow, super! I'm super happy for you, actually.
How is Ryan doing?
Ryan is good. Ryan is good. He loves our thing, what we do. Oh, is that Kelly or is that Colin? He kind of knows you guys. So even though he has not, he has met Kelly.
Right?
Family is good. Yeah, his family. Yeah. So he knows you guys. So
that's awesome.
Amazing. Yeah, man. It's the Signal Award thing is pretty cool. You know, we got bronze, which, you know, a little bit disappointed. But at the same time, here we go. Like, I was up against some of the biggest shows in the industry, some of the biggest networks in the industry,
the biggest people.
but you still want to be a little higher. But you know what? I am proud of that because we did it in under 3 years. I think that's the other side of it, right? Is that I hold myself to very high expectations, and then I look back and I'm like, well, why didn't we do better? And then it's like, oh yeah, because you're not even 3 years in. These other shows are at like 10 years, and you're just trying to fight in there at 3 years. But it's that, and maybe that leads into our show topic today.
Yeah, we
wanted to just kind of talk about. Me and Colin were talking this morning. We were talking on a few different things because my show on the BDP today, I really dug into the show today about the value of free, right? And we were talking about how with Colin and with some of the initiatives that I have with coaching, with Catalyst Club, things like that, when you give things away for free, they're just not valued. They're just not valued. No matter how much value that thing has, most people do not value things being handed to them. And a great example of that, I'm just going to use Catalyst Club as an example. When I've given away seats to Catalyst Club, those people, and it's not always, but a lot of the time, those people don't show up to the events, don't participate in the community, and then they leave anyway. Like, it's not something that they want to be, they're not investing in the community. And so because they're not investing in the community, either financially or in person, they're getting nothing from it. You have to give to get. Yeah, and you know what I mean? They kind of lose because they lost the ability to have ownership of their spot in the community. And obviously we lose because we didn't get any revenue from that member in order to continue to grow the community. And so I made the case in today's show that essentially everybody loses from a free offer. And, agree or disagree, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, but I have to go from my experience. And in my experience, free is almost never a good thing. Almost never.
Right. I mean, free is never a good thing. I think it is kind of, to me, instantly it kind of reflects into politics in a way, because it is kind of like into the socialism and capitalism kind of a thing. I mean, if you give things away for free, at one point, it becomes entitlement. right? So I've seen that happening. I've seen that happening with Pathfinders. We have did 35, like almost like 40 shows, including the conference and X Spaces that we did. So at sometimes it did come across as, hey, come on, like we are doing it for free. I calculated the entire expense. It would be almost close to $200,000 for the entire expense, for producing it, editing it, for all the time I would put in, right? So that's a lot of effort. You know it better than anyone else. The Podfather. So I'm saying, like, it is no joke at all. And I think when people really try and do it, they will know what it takes to actually deliver something like that. For like a Catalyst Club, like a community like you've built, like a podcast that we are trying to build. So I don't think people appreciate it as much, but at the same time, I'm learning a lot. So I'm okay. The thing is, like, I've stopped caring for what other people think or do, because the more emphasis I put on that is because I lose in a way. So that's what you want to do? It's on you, dude. Like, I mean, not on you. I mean, it's like on the person. Right. So yeah, that's on them. It's they have to own it. They have to own their actions. That's how I see it.
Yeah. And it kind of led into a conversation. We were starting on that in our conversation today with colleagues. I was telling you about my show and how we've talked about this for hours, literally hours, between Colin, me, and Shelby. We've talked for hours on the value of free and how just like you feel like you're doing a good thing when you give somebody a free offering. And Colin, you can go into your story as well with real estate, but like, I've had plenty of times where I'm just like, oh, well, I'll give them a trial. I'll let them try this thing, and then they'll see the value. But in a lot of ways, if you just give it to them for free at first, they'll never see the value because there was never any value in their eyes to begin with because they got that offer for free. And so, I really made the case in today's show. If you want to listen to like maybe a controversial show of the BDP, listen to today's show. Because I did make the case that I don't think that anything should be given away for free. I think there should be, even if there's not a financial aspect to it, I think that there should be some requirements of time, some requirements of another sort. There needs to be some cost to anything that you guys do from this point forward. And I think business will become better for it. I really believe that.
I think over time, proven, anybody you ask, they will say the same thing. And I like what Vijay said. We do live in a capitalist economy, right? And everything requires financial substance to move ahead. And I was given, when I was talking to Kelly, I was telling him a story just in real estate about how I do believe givers gain, right? I do believe in that philosophy as well. But I had given in this one circumstance, just over time, out of generosity to help them move ahead, a particular family, and it had gone on for quite a few years, let's say 10 years, and half a dozen transactions. And all I did was, I guess I'll say, forfeit commissions to help them get ahead on every single circumstance. Not so I could get something back, but obviously I'm human, and I would think at some point there would be a return. Yeah, absolutely. Right. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, doing it for the right reason, doing the right thing for the right reason. Then out of the blue, I see this property get listed just shy of $1 million. And I wasn't even given a phone call. I wasn't even given an opportunity to compete for it. And I just kind of, you take that, right? It's like a nice uppercut, and you bite your tongue at the same time. So it really hurts. But I'm like, okay, that's business. That's the way it is. Then about a week later, I get an email from the same organization asking me to donate to something. And take it for what it is. There's a book I read quite a few years ago. It's called Grow a Set. And you can, it's a really good book.
Grow a set.
I
bet. And so I grew a set, and I sent a nice email back, and I just said, you know what, thanks for reaching out. But dude, and I called it for what it was. I said, you know what, over the years I've done this, and I really tried to help you and wanted to do that. And I've decided to give power to what I focus on. So I'm really concentrating on where I give from now on. So I'm declining. And the reply was very short and abrupt, and it just said, thanks, have a great day. And you know what? I felt better because I got it off my chest. I wasn't
Mhm.
rude, right? It's not even hurtful anymore. I've just moved on, but it really made me think and focus on what am I giving to and why am I giving to it, right? I obviously am a believer in sowing and reaping. I realize where you sow, that's not necessarily where you reap. But in this circumstance, it was like, at what point, are you taken advantage of?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
clearly I was. I wasn't charging. And the odd part, after all those years and all that giving, all of a sudden they're paying somebody else to do it.
Mhm.
Right. So Kelly and I talked about that this morning as well, is when we allow ourselves, I'll say it this way, to be taken advantage of, or use it as a stepping stone. You know what? Hey, I'm going to go do this because this may help me in the future. But VJ's at the other side of the table getting paid, and we're both in the same event, right?
Yeah.
Say I was asked to speak. Hey, Colin, this would be really great for you to get out on a platform and start doing things. Oh, great! This is great. I get all excited. I go do it, and at the same lunch, I'm sitting across from a guy that got $5,000 for his half-hour talk,
Yep.
right?
Right.
The organization cutting the check doesn't even think about it. They're
No.
not doing it in a demeaning way, or there's no thought to it. It's just like, hey, we invited him. He said yes. End of story. That was the contract.
Yeah.
Mm.
So they would have happily probably paid me as well. And I'm not saying that happened. I'm just using a circumstance
Sure.
that I think we find ourselves in every day.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I genuinely think as business owners, we're giving away way too much. And I'm saying that from a good place. Like, I'm not saying that giving
Mhm.
is bad. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying we need to limit how much we give, because at the end of the day, you only have so much time. You have a family. This was the case that I made. You have a family to feed, a roof to put over your head, a business to run. You
Mhm.
have to look after yourself too, pay yourself too.
Right.
None of that is happening for free. None of that is happening for free. I don't know about you guys. My friggin' monthly expenses are through the
Yeah.
friggin' roof. I think in the Kennedy household right now, and don't get me wrong, we have a big household, but in the Kennedy household right now, our monthly expenses are over $5,000 a month just to have
Yeah.
food, shelter, electricity, and heat.
Yeah.
Like, not
Yeah.
anything else.
You know what? As weird as it sounds, I was sitting on the couch last night eating a bowl of grapes, and my wife said, "Oh, what do you got there?" And I said, "A bowl of quarters." And she looked at
Yeah.
me, and I said, "They're like a quarter a grape. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna
pretty much.
even this. I'm eating the soft ones, like just because I paid a quarter for each one." Um,
And
right?
I mean, I guess the point is that we have to consider that, right? We
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely have to consider that before we say yes to things with our time, because all of us are working with limited time. I mean, I don't know about you, Colin.
yep,
Obviously, many of us put in long days, but most of us only have about 10 hours a day to commit to
yep,
anything,
yep,
period. The rest is to our families, right?
yep.
Or ourselves, whatever. What are you doing with that 10 hours? How are you moving forward in your life, in your business? Yeah, I think I'm nearing the end of things that I will say yes to for free. And I think the other side is there might be things that I do say yes to for free, Colin. But me and Shelby were talking about it, and she said, Kelly, why didn't you just put a limit on how many you do? Like, why don't you just say, this year I'm allowing time for 5 free activities?
Yeah, good
How
idea.
powerful would that
Right.
be?
Yeah.
Right? And you're not saying no, you're putting a limit on
Hmm.
what you are willing to do for the good
That's
for the
right.
goodness of humanity.
I think part of it is too, as you evaluate your business or evaluate your time, it's not saying no, but it's actually looking at the request and quantifying, is this one worth it?
Yeah.
And it's a little bit harsh, but is it worth it? It isn't, and even more so, you may do them, but you're going to look at it from the other side going, okay, this is worth it for them. I know their situation. I'm doing this out of a giver's gain, right? Like
Sure.
I'm
Mhm.
actually want to do this, as
Yeah.
opposed to, you know what, this is an opportunity. Maybe I'll meet some people, networking. Chances are I won't. And you just have to really, you're going to qualify the event or the situation, and then you're going to quantify it as well, right? where does this rank and how does it make sense for me? Because I know I dumb it down, and somebody got upset with me when I said I'd rather sit on my couch, than waste my time doing that. And I said, well, I'm sorry I said it that way. If you took it that way, but that's what I'd rather do is that's my own.
That's just the truth.
That's my own time. Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do is really value all my decision making. Maybe that's a better way to say it. I need to really put strength into my decisions and stand with them.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never had less time in my life, period, ever. Yeah. Like I look at this time now, I just got off the phone actually with one of my old bosses, a super good friend, had a great conversation with him. And he's like, Kelly, you're doing a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Like that was it. That was like the gist of the conversation. He's like, I just see everything you're doing and it just blows my mind. And I'm like, it blows my mind sometimes too. But that's just the stage of life that we're in, right? Like this is the entrepreneurial journey. This is it's super fun, right? Like I actually really love everything that I do. We had this conversation this morning, Colin, where I was saying like, you know, I feel really good today.
Yeah.
I feel really good today. For the first time in a while, I feel really good. And I'll be honest, I've had a rough couple of months, guys. It's, it's just life. There's nothing that I can put a finger on and say, that's why I feel like crap. But like anybody, I was going through my cycle of feeling like crap. And I woke up this morning after just putting out what I like. I think my show yesterday is absolutely killer. I had such a good time doing it. It was one of the first ones that I've handwritten myself completely in a long time. And I just felt great about it. And I woke up this morning just feeling good. And I was talking to Colin and I just said, dude, I feel good today. For the first time in a long time, I just feel great. But that's just part of the roller coaster. And when you're this busy, when you're doing this many things and trying to make an impact in the world, it can get really hard at times. It can get really exhausting when you want to make an impact. And sometimes you just need those pick-me-up days. You need to recognize that no matter how crappy things are in a moment or a month, you will eventually have that turnaround. I know, Vijay, you were feeling very similar as well.
Yeah, I mean, there were days like, but I think we have to get over it. I think that's the maturity that we get from adult. And what's the point of all these wisdom and all these books that we read? Actually, what are we getting? What is the takeaway from all of that? Right? There's a ton of takeaway from that. One thing I've never given a shout out to my dad. I think I think this is a moment I think I should. One thing that he kept telling me as I was growing up was about gratitude, actually. So anyone, I mean, we are talking about giving away for free, but there are so many people, like thousands of them, actually, that incredible things along my life. And Kelly, for example, I have huge gratitude for you guys, for you, Colin, and I mean, beyond friendship and whatever we do, I think gratitude plays a big part in that, actually, because I have a huge gratitude for Elon. I've shared that in our show one of the time. I mean, he gave away for $44 billion for free. He didn't have to do that, actually. No one asked for it, right? So gratitude plays a big part. And I think when people do it with real good intention, and I think we have to appreciate it. The problem comes when the other side doesn't see it, actually. You don't even have to appreciate it. I mean, you don't even realize that someone is actually taking the effort do something for you. Can you just take a moment to at least in your mind, don't even say thank you, at least in your mind, can you appreciate it? I think that's all it takes. So I just want to, it reminded me of that whole gratitude thing. And I think I feel people realize that. That was one thing. And one other point in terms of like connecting with people and giving away for free, I've slowly reduced the number of networking meetings I'm actually trying to attend
100%.
Because it is not as fruitful. Because there are 50 people show up, 100 people show up, and you barely meet with 10 people, 20 people and say hello, exchange cards, and it's gone. Actually, I'd rather prefer meeting people one-on-one, and actually meeting with them, speaking to them 30 or an hour. That conversation stays with me and with the person for a long time. Maybe we do business 6 months or after 1 year, doesn't matter. But that's the thing that's actually more fruitful. And I'm building that long-term, I'm in the relationship game, as I've said before. So that the long-term relationship kind of builds that way, at least for me. I don't know. How about you guys?
Oh, man, 100%. And like, who has the time? Like, I don't know how many of you business owners out there have, let's call it 4 hours to go to a networking event to meet or not meet somebody of value to you. I don't know. I'm not sure the gamble's worth it anymore. And it's funny, guys, I'm in BD. Like I'm right there. I get it. But here's the thing. I'm starting to feel like a lot of those events are just something to do. Like, if you go to it with that intention, I just want to go have a good time. I just want to go and have a coffee and hear what's going on in the city, whatever. And you go, great. Like, that's a great reason to go. If you're going there looking for business, you're probably better off to go looking on LinkedIn.
So I had a great conversation yesterday. Excuse me. There's a young guy. I guess he'd be 23. I'm somewhat mentoring. He just moved to the island. He's a pro ball player. That ended, and he was going to go into real estate. And I really did my best of, laying it down like, hey, this is how hard it's going to be, right? Like, you don't even own a house, and just in a nice way. And then he called me and he said he had an opportunity. He has a degree in kinesiology. He got an opportunity on the island with a medical company in sales. And I said, absolutely, go with it, right? He's got a grandfather that lives there. He can go live there for free. He can live on the island and he can sell this medical devices. So I was chatting with him last night, just on text, actually. And I would love to show you the conversation because I said, how's it going your first week? Yeah, pretty good. Hard to meet people. The Kelly and me came out immediately. Are you on LinkedIn? That's exactly what I said. And and he said, yeah. So as he was saying, yeah, I'm on LinkedIn checking out his profile. And I said, okay, there's a lot we can do here. This is where you're going to meet the right people. And I said, this is what you're going to do. So then I put him onto the BD podcast and on and on and on. That really brought me back to when I was 23 and I never had that, right? I mean, I never had anybody say that or do that. But if I can have any, I will give to that. I will have those conversations with him all day long. I will talk to him in the evening, right? Because that's fruitful for me. And I really want to see him do well.
Yeah.
But if I weighed that out versus there's some network events, obviously, I'm going to go to and I love going to. But when there's just so many of them, and then like VJ said, am I just going to go and show up and leave and go, wow, that was nothing?
Yeah.
I would rather spend my time investing or sowing into this guy's life, right? And that's not going against saying I'm not charging him for this. This is a friend. Mentoring is not charging, right?
Sure.
Not to me that way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it comes back to where I'm going to spend my time and what I'm going to get out of it. I'm going to get a lot out of it, even if he texted me and said, hey, I met some new people and, I've have some meetings set up, that type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I, maybe I should put a little bit of caveat into what I was saying with regards to like free things. I'm with you on that. I absolutely, I will take phone calls. I don't mind having a 20-minute conversation. I actually had a great conversation just last week with a childhood friend actually who's starting a business and just reached out and was like, I see that you know a lot about BD. Can you help me? And I felt good about that conversation. It went well. I helped him. It took 20 minutes of my time on a phone. I'm okay with that.
You know what I think what we've learned right here in this conversation is better yet said is we're talking about contractual deals.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
There has to be commerce when there's a contractual deal happening. And maybe that's how I see it now. And that's what I love about this podcast, right? If anybody's listening or everybody listening, that's why we call it authentic, right? We can be going down a path and then go, oh, geez, just hit a wall. That was not right.
Yeah, hold on. Let me check myself here. Yeah, because I'm with you. Me and you both have giving hearts. We don't mind helping people, but a phone call with a 23-year-old kid or a young new entrepreneur just looking for advice is way different than a speaking gig at a conference or doing a webinar for a group of individuals or things like that. I think we need to really start rethinking if you are going to be providing a service in your expertise that you have worked very hard to develop and you're going to provide a ton of value, you should be compensated for that work.
There's one thing I'm really proud of. I never use the word proud when it comes to myself. It's something I'm proud of. I keep bragging about it. There was a guy we were trying to recruit. He was a developer, right? And there's some basic questions we asked in an interview, and he didn't answer any of them. And he couldn't speak of and he couldn't speak English or anything, because if there's a client communication, he needs to communicate, and he couldn't do any of that. And later, coming back 3 months after from that incident, another referral came back saying that, hey, is there anything that you can do with this person? And he said, like, no, we already tried to interview him and it didn't work out. And he said, no, his brother just passed away, who was the only breadwinner for the family. He didn't have a dad, and his brother was a breadwinner, and he passed away in an accident or something. And he said, can you do something? And then later I spoke to that guy, and for about 1 hour, I understood what he was trying to do. He pursued his entire education, working in like nighttime call centers, and he earned the money, and he actually paid the tuition fee. He did a lot to actually just to keep going.
Yeah.
Then he had so many arrears in the course that he was actually doing, and he was computer science, IT, and everything. I've spent so much time. If I couldn't do anything with this guy, what is it even worth, right? So that's what I thought about myself. I spent the next 4 to 6 months with this guy. I would send him coaching material. I said, like, dude, like, if you can get a laptop, he doesn't even have money to pay the internet fee, right? So I said, like, I'll take care of all that. Just get a laptop. I'll send you the courses. Can you stay on the course? So we spent the next 4, 5, 6 months, and he finished all the courses I said and all the project works that I gave him. After 6 months, he actually landed into a beautiful job with a good paying salary, after a year, I think he's pretty well. He's doing pretty well right now.
Wow.
So I'm super happy about
That's
that.
awesome.
That story, that kid, someone we were actually trying to recruit, but we couldn't. And I'm just super happy about that.
Well, and that's huge. And you probably changed that kid's life forever. Like, that is the kind of help the world needs, right? The world doesn't need another free webinar. The world needs mentors like Vijay willing to say, I'm going to help you to this next stage. Those are very different types of help. I would argue that is not business.
That's right.
Right? I think the argument that I'm trying to make is that in business, we got to stop giving shit away.
That's right. That's the contractual, right? It's a contract.
Right.
But in the real world, where it's Kelly Kennedy, it's Colin Harms, it's Vijay helping the next generation, well, we are already doing that. The BDP is a completely free resource to help the next generation of BD people. You don't have to buy shit from me to listen to the BDP. You can listen to the whole thing. You can learn everything that I teach right there for free. Like I said, I help people when they reach out. I've helped many people who've reached out and just had questions that just needed a leg up, needed a little bit of help on that next step. That's fine. I agree with that completely. I think that is the way people should be helping other people, isn't that one-to-one format? But now if you're... Sorry, go ahead, Colin.
No, you were talking.
But I was going to say, now on the other side of it, how many business owners are doing that and giving all their shit for free when they're doing, webinars, speeches, maybe they're doing free work, free consulting, free products, free services, just to try to win that next deal or whatever. But like, the perception is if you're giving it away, there's no value anyway.
Here's something that I just thought about. Somebody had said to me one time, I was reviewing all my monthly subscriptions and that type of thing. And they said, YouTube, $15.99 a month or whatever it was. Why would you pay that? And I said, it's a subscription because I subscribe and I get all of this or whatever. Oh, I would never pay that. Okay. Then you wouldn't get it. I don't know what else to say. Okay. So you want to order the food, but you're not going to pay for it. You don't get to eat it.
Yeah.
You get to look at it go by the window, but you don't get to taste it.
Yeah.
Honestly, so I pay for it and I gladly pay for it. Right. And then I did go down the list and there were some things, of course, I was paying for that I did not need. Right. But that comes into play as well, right? Like there has to be a monetary something affixed to it to make sense. All right, fellas. Well, we're 11:30. Who's Kelly? You started. You end it.
Okay.
Can I do a plug? Can I do a plug? Kelly,
plug.
Yeah. I just thought about it. Kelly, what's the name of the AI thing that you do with the Chat GPT with your business development?
Catalyst GPT.
Catalyst GPT. Okay, yeah. So guys, go check out Catalyst Club at KennyKennedyOfficial.com. So what Kelly has done, we never spoke about it actually, because what you've done is brilliant, Kelly. So Kelly has done more than 300 shows. So he has taken hundreds of his shows and actually trained the GPT and created a new GPT called Catalyst GPT, and all of that knowledge is available for you if you are a part of the Catalyst Club. So go check out KennyKennedyOfficial.com. Just wanted to plug that. So.
Oh,
That's
thanks,
awesome.
VJ. Yes, I don't promote that shit enough. I really should. I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? I think the moral of the story here, guys, entrepreneurs out there, you worked very hard to get where you're at. You are valuable. You're worth more than you think. You are definitely undercharging. Start charging for your services. Even if you don't think that it's worth it, like a webinar or something like that, it absolutely is. And here's the thing. Everybody gets more out of it when you do.
That's right. All right.
That takes us to the end of 38, guys. It was great to chat with you all. It was good to see you, Colin and VJ. Until next time, later, hustlers.
Stay authentic.